Hello, everybody. Welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Road Matter podcast. Thank you all for being with us as we look back at a game that feels like about a month ago, but it was only on Thursday. We're going to look at the draw against Bradford on Thursday evening. We may have a slight look forward to Tuesday because we've got the Virtue Trophy game, but it's the Virtue Trophy, so we'll not be looking too much at it. But we'll see where the evening takes us. Andrew's back with us first of all. How are you doing, Andrew, mate? Oh, it was working so well before we started. Before we were talking Andrew about his mic and whatever. Noise now, and they're working perfectly, and now I can't hear you.
Oh dear.
Good start. Good start to the show.
I'm here.
Kev's here. We can hear Kev. Andrew's going to leave call. How are you doing, Kev?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, I feel, although, like you say, it feels right weird. It does feel like we played ages ago. I've got a question as well. Is that the first time we've ever played on a Thursday night? Because I'm not sure.
We know. Well, we played it on Thursday night back in the ITV digital days.
Oh, okay.
I think we played Sheffield United on a Thursday night. I don't know if anybody else can remember any other. That's the only one I can remember. It's a terrible day for football. Just a terrible day.
Didn't like it at all.
No, I didn't either. Right, take two.
He's back.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I've absolutely no idea how that happened. The only thing I can think is if somebody's put some headphones on somewhere in the house and it's attached to Bluetooth. But if that were the case, you'd probably hear my daughter shouting to her friends on Roblox or something like that. So.
Yeah. How are you doing anyway, mate? Other than sound issues, how's it going?
Other than the obligatory sound issues and the embarrassing moment at the beginning of the podcast, I'm very well, thank you.
Excellent. We've got loads of people with us. Martin Holland's with us. Miller66 with us. Paula Rose this evening. Northampton game still. And yeah, that's been confirmed. Thankfully, YouTube viewers with us. Sarah Ogden says, evening, ladies and gents. Saw a lot of positives from Thursday night, which we'll go into absolutely. Mark Gamble's with us. Steve Gundy, Damon Coe, John Hinchcliffe. There's loads of people with us tonight. Bad news for Nick. Newsroom said, hope Mick's back. Not yet. Sorry to all you Mick fans out there. You have to put up wheels for the time being. But yeah, loads to talk about from the game, Kev. But just sum it up first of all. 2-0 up. Mistakes. What did Matt Amsterdam say? It was proud and frustrated or something like that. I thought that summed it up quite well, actually. Some really good parts, but some really bad parts.
Yeah, I mean, I think proud was a strong word to use, but I guess based on the previous performances, I can see why you would be proud they've actually come out fighting against top of the table. Very disappointed. To sum up for me, even at 2-0, I said to my mate aside, Ash, I went, this game, we haven't won this yet. Even at 2-0. That's how I think that's our defensive frailties lie. I think we set the stone early doors with a few mistakes. There could have been a couple up after a few minutes with a couple of really poor defensive, just uncertainties. But do you know what? I'm putting it all down to confidence, mate. These are two young lads at back who need time to grow and mature. For me, I'm not sure playing together works. I think they do need a mature head outside of them. Somebody like Zach Jules, who came on, I know in second half, he clearly weren't match fit, otherwise he would have started alongside one of them two lads, I'm sure. But the young lads, they make mistakes. I'm sure they were gutted after game, like Amy said. But all in all, there were a lot of positives, more positives than negatives.
Yeah, I agree. Just to mention, we have so Cardiff rearranged game after it rained was a Thursday because of Sky. Sarah Ogden said the Preston game in the playoffs that was a Thursday. That was a good Thursday. And Jonathan thinks the Cardiff game in COVID, he thinks, was also on a Thursday as well.
Okay.
We probably played on Thursday during that game. That week we had about 7 games, I would have thought. Martin Miller, there's another Thursday game coming up with Peter Rodriguez Day. Fair enough. Yeah.
All right. Have we ever played 2 Thursdays in one season then? Clever.
Yeah, there you go, Mike. Probably not. Yeah, that I think. What's your thoughts, Andrew? Like I said, you've got to come out disappointed because you've thrown away a 2-goal lead, and the manner of the goal we conceded. Maybe we'll come to the specifics in it, but there's a manner of the goals conceded as well, which makes it even more. They're not 2 wonder strikes or 2 beautiful bits of play from Bradford. It's 2 mess ups from us.
Yeah, I agree. I think going forward, it was probably as good as we've played all season, but defensively, it was probably the worst we've played all season. I think, like Kev said, two young lads, and they look like two young lads next to each other. I think Lenny were a little bit, when he was at Mansfield, they were a little bit hit and miss. He were making a few sort of odd mistakes without really costing us. But then him and Baptiste they just both had an off day. So you're frustrated. It's a weird one because I stood at the end and I'm sure came to everybody and clapped him and clapped all the players because I did feel like at least they put in effort, and it was just one of those things. It felt, and Kev said as well, more positives than negatives. It just felt I felt like I quite enjoyed it, and I've not said that in a while.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. Hey, let's go back to the start of the game, Kev. The lineup. There were obviously a few changes. We talked about Lenny and Lenny and Baptiste, and no Jules, and so Rafferty playing in a back three again.
Yeah, I know.
This is becoming a bit of a theme, and like I said, maybe we have to say that Jack Jules maybe wasn't fit, but you're playing people out of position, and that can't help Lenny and Baptiste either. Having a player, because they've got to cover for him almost because he's not a natural centre back. So I don't think that helps either.
No, definitely not. And look, I love Rafferty. I think he's great. He's club captain. He is a brilliant player, but he's not a centre back. But I think maybe Ami's logic was, I've got to put an old head in between them. I've got to help him out with an old head. I don't know. Is Zach Jules injured? I don't even know if he's injured or not. He must be, otherwise he would have started a game. Or he'd probably come on at half time. Someone just said in one of the comments. And I probably would have introduced him at half time had he been able to play 45 minutes, surely. Because if he would, he'd have come on. Because I'm sure Ami realised early doors that, like we just said from the first few minutes, he looked very shaky at the back. And Bradford, I weren't impressed with Bradford. I thought they played very direct game of football. And the comments Graham Alexander made after the game about sloppy goals and all that crap, I'm sorry, but I'm not dissing the way they play football. They played to their strengths and our weakness, as simple as that. They knew they could get by hoofing the ball up front, they could get in behind our two young defenders. And they played it from the first minute. And they nearly caught us a couple of times early doors, and then there was a scramble in the box where Lenny or one of them kicked it against a defender who were offside. They get an offside goal. Yeah. Very bad defending. They just look very shaky. And I think had Zach Jules been fit or somebody else, an experienced centre-back, they would have made a change early, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. The other sort of notable thing from the lineup, Andrew, was a Tete up top, basically on his own, with as it turned out, Martha and Benson kind of just behind them, and then further back, Powell and Gore, sort of like a box midfield almost. I was surprised to see a Tete on his own, but he actually did really, really well, and the link-up play with Martha and Benson as well was excellent in that first half.
I mean, I was surprised to see him after the fact he's been out, and obviously we're kind of nurturing him back, and obviously him going off at half time, I think kind of proved that he weren't quite there. But he had more of an impact in that 45 minutes than we've seen in these past few games. Yeah. Not sort of, I seem to do it quite a lot, but not digging out Hugo, but at least a sort of Tete can make the ball stick, and when he does make it stick, he does stuff with it, so he brings other players into play, whereas Hugo don't quite do that. And I think, like you said, that link-up, and that just link up and the sort of quick passing and stuff. It asks defences questions, and we haven't really been doing that much this season.
No, we haven't. And let's break it. They weren't perfect, Kev. He's not Sharif. We'll come on to Sharif in a minute, but he's a different player. His runs aren't clever. His runs aren't quick, but he is very, very mobile. His hold-up play is much better than Sharif's.
Yeah.
And he just interacts with other players much better than Hugo seems to be able to over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, John Hughes had an absolutely fantastic career. He's played at a top level, but it's just not working for him. I do feel sorry for him. And I've been probably his worst critic, but like Tete coming on, he just gives us that different option. Like you say, he's not very graceful. Looks like don't like a footballer when he's running her, but he just puts himself in positions and he puts us in a back. He don't mind getting stuck in. He's forever putting a graft in. He just gives us that different option, which I really like. And like you said, his link up with Martha, and it's a shame he can only play 45 minutes. Must have had a niggle, and obviously I couldn't risk. But I think it says a lot when we've got people on bench who doesn't even get on the pitch. So yeah, I think no offense to John Hughes, but we played a hell of a lot better on Thursday night without him in the team, and that's sad to say.
Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence. Tom Swift's right, says he should have made it 2-0 though. I really liked break, and they had a poor shot in the end. Let's touch on the goal, Andrew, because that for the first goal, because that was a really, really, really good goal. Denzel Hall now our joint top scorer of the season, which nobody saw coming. Obviously not him. But that link-up play between him, Benson, and Martha, we'll come to Martha in more detail later, but that's just a brilliantly well-worked goal.
Yeah, it was just one-touch football, and it just felt really positive. And like you said earlier, I don't know what their manager's on about, those sloppy goals. Not many teams would struggle to deal with that because it's that one-touch football, and they're not seeing that from us at all this season. So when they see it and they struggle there, I think, to be honest, their keeper should probably have done a little bit better. But Hall's in the position, he's had the shot, and you can't score a goal if you don't take a shot. So he's done exactly as he should do. But the movement, it was very, very good. And I think, I want to say similar to his other goal. It weren't similar to his other goal, but that were a decent move that he scored. Wigan or Exeter? I can't remember who we scored against. Exeter, yeah. So, and it was just good football. So that's where the positives come from, because that's how we are capable of doing that, and that's against a team we're top of the league. So we're capable of doing that if we put the right things together, and that you can tell they've been working on that in training, and it came off on the pitch. So that's where the positives for me come from, just like little bits of link-up play like that.
Yeah, definitely. Because this is something we've talked about in the podcast the last few weeks. That is when Nonme comes back, is he can't be our saviour if we don't create anything. But Thursday, you finally saw if we can keep Benson fit, which we don't know whether he's fit, and if you can get Martha involved and Etete involved and Hall involved, we obviously can make those chances. That was probably not the first time this season, but there's been moments elsewhere. But that was easily the best move of the season, which shows that we can create opportunities and really trouble the opposition.
Yeah, I think so. It very much reminded me of Barnsley first half, the cup game away. Very similar. We absolutely so many chances and so on. We could have been 2 or 3 of that game. I felt for Benson so much because I think to me it looked like a bad one. It looked bad where he pulled up and then couldn't even walk off pitch. It looks a pretty bad one to me. And I just feel so sorry for him because I think I said about 2 or 3 weeks ago when he came on as a sub a couple of weeks back, he changed the whole dynamics of the game. He's got so much creativity. Not just if you watch him off the ball, he's so good off the ball. The spaces he finds, the runs he makes, even the diversion runs, bringing other players into play. He's just such a clever player, and I wish he could stay fit. I'm sure he does it. He looked devastated Thursday night, absolutely devastated. So he would just find his form, probably heading towards a man of match performance as well. That first goal, the way he barely touched the ball, but it was just a very clever move. How he just knew there was someone to the side of him, and just flicked it across to him. And had he been on the pitch longer, sounds daft, we probably would have won the game.
Yeah, we possibly would, and that was the thing. We saw that briefly in the Mansfield game. He petered out much quicker in the Mansfield game, to be fair, Andrew. But Benson seems to have that. Well, he's just got that quality, and not only did he bring Etete into the game, he really, really brought Martha into the game, and then Martha was just built on confidence and was fantastic. So if Benson is injured, which we'll probably find out in the presser on Thursday, maybe before then, that would be a huge blow because he was the link I feel like we've been missing.
Yeah. It's that creative spark, isn't it? Like there were one moment in the first half, I think he dropped his shoulder and then he got a bit of space and he ran into it and he laid it on. And I think it's that creative spark that we've been missing. And he's obviously got that little bit of an X factor in his ability. He's got a great delivery of a ball. He had a couple of good free kicks at Mansfield. And every time he's putting a ball into the box, it looks dangerous. It looks like we could do something from it. And we don't have that outside of him. Yeah. So with him being injured, it is a massive, and it feels it's an unlucky injury. So it's not one where we're going to say, oh, what they're doing, it's training grounds caused it. It was just an impact injury. Hopefully it's a dead leg or something like that, and it might not be as bad as you think. But given our history this season, it probably will be quite bad, and it'll be out for months on end. But yeah, that link-up play with Martha, and I know it's more talking about Benson, but Martha's best game in a Rotherham season by a country mile. And I suppose we'll come on to it in a bit more detail. But it's that link-up. Yeah. He's got quality, intelligent players around him as well. So then you step up your level, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, the game against we'll talk about Northampton game on Thursday, but Martha's out of that game because of international duty.
Yeah.
So if Benson's out as well, which he probably looks like he will be, that's going to take us back 2 steps from where we were. But any frustration in terms of the first half, Kev, that we didn't make it pay even more? Because we had chances, they had chances. We were good, but it was still a bit messy in terms of us. We were happy just to get in at 1-0 half time.
Yeah, I were, because let's be right. We could have been we could have been a couple down in the first 5 or 6 minutes. So,
yeah.
but then we came into the game more. I think as a fair reflection, I think 1-0 at half time were probably fair results going in. Like I said, I weren't confident at all. I still thought because the way they were playing, they were exploiting our weaknesses.
Yeah.
And we keep saying it week in, week out. If Hammy had the squad big enough to make those crucial changes early doors, if we had, I'm sure if Zach Jules was fit enough, he would have probably come onto the pitch before half time, maybe half an hour into the game, and just pull one of the young lads out and say, "I'm protecting you here. We need some experience on pitch." But he's not got that at the minute with the squad depth, with injuries and stuff like that. So it is hard for him. But I think going in at 1-0, we're happy. Then when we got the second one early, obviously we're ecstatic. We're playing so well and in control. And their goal kind of came from nowhere. It was like poor defending, but in all fairness, it was a great cross. And I mean, for someone to chest the ball into the back of net, that's pretty decent. So disappointing still.
Yeah. Tom Swift go back. If not for Cam Dawson, they could have had 5 or 6 his best game since Bolton. Yeah, I think it should be mentioned, Andrew, because he comes in for a lot of fair stick as well. To be honest, at times Cam Dawson, some more than deserves, but I think they deserve some stick. But he was really, really good. Certainly in the first half, he made 2 or 3 really, really good saves, and that's what we need more of. He also needs to command his box a little bit better, but his shot stopping is his bread and butter, and he's kind of lacked that a little bit this season. So if that was the first time, his shot stopping's kind of been really, really good.
Yeah, I think it kind of lived up to his pre-Rotherham move, Billy, and like a lot of Wednesday fans I know say, he can't command his box. He's not commanding it enough at all, but it's a great shot stopper, hence his penalty record. But like you say, that's not been great this season. There's been a few times where you think, he could have done a lot better there. Like, you're talking potentially 4 or 5 goals, but the first 10 minutes, they walked through with like a knife through butter, and he's stepped up on a couple of occasions. And I can't remember exactly how many saves, but that's his best game this season. And probably, like the comment said there, best game since Bolton last season. So I think we're quite rightly giving him pelters for his performances this season, but he probably, did he deserve man at match? I'm not 100% sure, but he was definitely one of the better ones.
Yeah, it goes in a list of good players.
I don't think he's been that bad this season. I really don't. I think he's been some unfair criticism. I agree with what you just said. I definitely think he should, especially given that keepers get so much protection. I'd love to. Any goalie who comes out from his 6-yard area and punches the ball out is either going to win it or get a free kick. I'd love to see that more, and I think that's his only downside. Other than that, I think he's been unfairly criticised.
I think some of the criticism has been over the top, definitely. But like that Stockport one particularly is one where you kind of go,
yeah.
And it's easy for everybody else to kind of pile on a bit in it after that.
I guess sometimes, even if we're not overly critical, we kind of look for the mistake, and you're almost like that because he's done it before or whatever, and he's not Victor Johansson. You kind of think, well, Victor might save that, so you kind of hold them up on a higher pedestal, which we shouldn't do, but naturally we do as football fans. And I think some of it is unjust, but then some of it, like you say, is. So I just think sometimes you like looking at it and thinking, maybe you could have done better there, and that's probably unfair on it at times.
Yeah, fans wanted him from minute one though. The ball come through very early, and for me, an experienced defender probably would have said to him, "This is your ball, come out for it." Because Lenny and other one weren't that experienced, Cam didn't come running out of his area, and instantly within 1 minute, fans are on his back screaming at him.
Yeah.
That can't help. 1 minute into the game, and you've got 2,000 pretend managers behind you shouting, telling you what to do. You're a professional football. You don't need that. And I just think, I don't know. I just think he's this season's scapegoat.
Yeah, he is. Even when he was time wasting, he was getting shouted at from fans about time wasting. Well, we kind of want time wasting when we're winning, and we're doing what we should be doing, and he's getting booed. And fans were booing him, getting man at the match wasn't on.
Crazy. Can't believe it.
That was mad. It's not like we were in the past. We had some man of the matches which have been mad. I can understand why he was given that. I don't think he was, but I can understand why he was giving it. So if you booed him, don't do that next time because that's poor. Half-time sub though, Kev. One sub. Sharif comes on with Etete. We assume Etete is not fully fit. I love Martin Sharif. I just love him. He's just living his best life playing professional football. He's just happy. And it's the goal's very similar to his first goal. It's just a poacher's finish. Right place, right time. Jobs are good.
He's got something about him, hasn't he? I can't, again, it reminds me of Tete in a way because he don't look like a footballer. He literally looks like a footballer. He looks like he's going to fall over every time he runs, but he seems to have decent feet. He's got pace. He's got pace coming out of his whatever it is. He looks dangerous. It just gives us something really different. We've got to remember, he's 19 years old. He's 19 and he's coming on in performance like that. I mean, I think he was very unlucky. We were inches away from connecting with Edwin to win it as well. And there were another couple of little occasions. And I love the guy. I think he's brilliant. It just gives us, it's just raw talent to, I think, developed. I'm not saying he's going to play at Premier League or anything, but he can certainly play above League One.
Yeah, I think so. Harry says in his celebration, he did some gun fingers. I think he's taken to the shot by the Sheriff chant, which I really like.
Yeah.
His all-round game is unfinished, Andrew. I said in the instant reaction that he reminds me a bit of Haaland in terms of his all-round play. There's massive question marks, but he's just in the right place at the right. He's constantly in the box, and the ball's all either if it's not coming to him, it's very, very close to him all the time. He's just got that knack of being in the right place at the right time.
I guess if he were an all-rounder, he probably wouldn't be on loan at Rotherham, would he? And not played many professional games of football. So I think you're right. We've been crying out for a fox in the box, so to speak, and just be in the right place at the right time. And we haven't had that in a long time. So he did great. Scored the goal. He faded a little bit as the half went off, but it was probably because of the type of football we're playing. We tended to go a bit more direct, and he's not going to win headers. He's a bit more physical, and he wins a bit more. But he's not that type of player. But he did exactly what we asked of him. He was in the right place, good run. That's all you've got to ask for a striker. Great ball in, bang, 2-0. And yeah, everyone went crazy and started believing we were going to be top at league for a bit.
I still didn't feel confident we're going to win it, even at 2-0.
Yeah. He's also a threat for their defence, and he's constantly running. He's constantly on the move, which is obviously very difficult to defend against.
Yeah, the couple of runs in second half, he was mild the other side of the pitch, and he was pointing to where he wants the ball. It come the complete other side, and he managed to get behind the defender and across. Just very clever for a young lad, very clever footballer.
Yeah, definitely. Tom Swift says Reece James had a steady game as well. His crossing was brilliant set up for the Sheriff's goal. Still think of a better midfield. He thinks as he can cross a ball, which is fair. I also think let's stop now and have a Martha conversation, Kev, because he was massive in that second goal. The assist to the assist was what made the goal outside to Reece James. And there's something about Martha that I really like. He's inconsistent, he's weak, and everything else that comes along with it. Yeah. But Thursday night she said, right, okay, you've got to stick with him, you've got to work with him, you've got to give him chances, because if our defence could defend properly, Martha almost won us the game in terms of how he impacted the game with the first and second goal.
Yeah, pretty much. And like you said, he is another one, a raw talent. He's got a lot missing from his game, like you just said, strength. There were a couple of occasions in the second half where he bottled a few tackles. He should have gone full-blooded, and that's what fans want to see. I'm not criticising for that, but I'd like to see him get a bit more stuck in, like other midfielders that do. But I said it from game one of the season. He has got something special. He's got something different. No one else in our team. I know Benson's got his qualities, but they're totally different. He's a more controlling player. Martha's exciting. Get him on that ball, and we don't know what's going to happen. Like, he probably don't know what's going to happen, but it makes shit happen, and it's just great to watch. He's just got danger written all over him.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a run in the first half, or I think the first half, Andrew, where he eventually won a corner. I don't think he knows how he got the ball from the touchline to almost the 6-yard line. He's again a nightmare for defending, because he does that. It does a Sheriff, but with the ball, he's just direct at the player, and they're just scared to touch him. He gains your ground, he gains your momentum, he does everything, but he has to play further forward, and he has to play where he played on Thursday for me.
Yeah, I don't think he knows what he's going to do half the time, so that's why defenses don't know what he's going to do. But it's about just getting further up the pitch. That's what Chio used to be really good at doing. He couldn't cross the ball at times, but how many corners did he win? How many throws? And getting us up that pitch and giving us possession. He's probably closest. I mean, Chio's not been gone that long, but it's the closest we've had to Chio, because he's got that bit of X factor, and he can make stuff happen. Just that. his quick feet. I mean, it was his quick feet that kind of got the ball out to Reece James, but his quick feet, and they didn't know what to do. I still don't know if we know what his best position is, though. That's the thing. He played. That goal came from him being more central, and he got a little bit of space. And I just don't know. I mean, Hammy probably got more of an idea than us, but I just don't know what his best position is. He was excellent on the left, weren't he, at Barnsley when he scored that goal, and he just coming inside. And I think time will tell with him, but he's probably the one that we can be most excited about in terms of everybody who's coming to the club.
Yeah. Just got to say, I don't see Martha playing wing back. He's so much better playing as a winger. He got almost a 10 in that one. Yeah, I agree, Kev. But I think the problem I'm sure has got him, brought him in as kind of a wing back with Reece James, and they could not be more different in terms of wing back. So it's difficult to get consistency and style in terms of playing those. And like I said, I agree, Andrew. I don't think Matt Mamshaw quite knows yet how to use Martha properly yet.
No, I agree. I agree with Scott. I think he's definitely more of a winger for me, just like due to his dangerousness. Because we aren't being rude and all to the lad. One of his weaknesses is because we don't know what's going to happen. He's likely going to get us in a bit of trouble as well with his flicks. He did it at Doncaster. Could have cost a goal, but that's part of his game. You got to accept that. I'd personally like to see him playing. Probably would never work, but playing up front in a forward line of three. See him right there because he's got the pace. And I think he'd come out wide as well. So he'd be almost like a winger anyway, but just playing up top. For me, he's certainly more an up top player than a wing back for sure.
Definitely.
I think a front three of Nombe, Sharif, and Martha screams excitement and goals, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, Matt, I'm sure if you're listening, just try it, see what happens. Well, let's talk about the goals before we talk about a couple more performances. The first goal was less of a mistake than the second goal, which we'll come on to, Kev, but it's just messy and scrappy. It's the ball over the top, which we've got done all half. And I'm surprised. I don't know what I'm sure could have done at half time with them being Jules on, but we got done all first half with ball over top. And in second half, we continue to get done by ball. I would have expected some tactical changes, which are beyond my knowledge, but I would expect some changes because it was a constant threat throughout the entire game from Bradford.
It were, and like I said earlier, they've done their own way, Bradford. I'm pretty sure Bradford don't play that type of football every week. So if they do, how the hell are they top of the table? Because it were poor. We get slated for it many times for playing for long, direct hoofball football. But that's what Bradford came and did because they knew we got two youngers at back who they could exploit with that. And it worked for them. But I don't know what could Hammy have done though. What could he really done to change that part? If he's got no one on the bench to come on and combat that, what can he do? He can't push him further up the field. Maybe he could have played him deeper. I don't know, to combat that and drop some in front of him. It was a tough one. And really, like I miss something afterwards. We've just got to learn to boot the ball out. Old fashioned football. Anyone is, if you're not sure, just put it over its top of the stand. Game of throwing. It was disappointing. That really, really, especially the first goal. Really, really poor. Just we should have probably dealt with it better. Don't let the ball bounce. Just attack it. If it go anywhere, just get rid of the ball.
Yeah, that's rule number one, isn't it? As a defender, Andrew, we've all played football at pretty low levels, but the first thing you're taught if you're ever playing defence is don't let the ball bounce. And how many times did they let the ball bounce? And they'll come back better, and it'll be fine eventually. But I'm surprised this is an issue because we talked last week Mansfield about basics of football. It's a basic of football. Don't let the ball bounce, and it was a constant issue.
It's this modern defender, isn't it? And you've got to find that kind of hybrid of that old school, just get it out and boot it into Rose Ed. And then when you can take it down and have the time to sort of pick a pass out and work it out from the back, but he just needed to get his head on it. It just needs to get his head on it a few times, and it's the basics. And I see loads of people on Twitter saying, "Oh, it's Richard Wood's fault." Like Richard Wood's not defensive coach, he's first team coach. So why just because he's a defender is it his fault that players are not making a decision? Because actually, what he might be saying in training is, we need to practice on getting it out, but then players are making them decisions on the pitch. You can't. It's not FIFA, is it? You're not controlling them, you know.
Yeah. We'll touch on this because I did see this. I'm just putting in the comments about this Woody thing. Nick Newsom. Lots of fans blame the two young defenders. Somehow they blamed Woody. The coach at Celtic never got blamed when Van Dijk made errors, and he made plenty, Kev. And I know we're going to get penalties here for being Woody fanboys, and I don't really care, to be honest with you. But this is, Harry says, Dale Tongue, defender as well. Where's his criticism?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just mad. Lenny's made a mistake. Why are we blaming Woody for this? Blame anyway. Blame Matt Amshaw, his manager. Why is this? It's just weird.
They were shouting behind me at game. Blokes 2 rows back, 5 rows back. That's all they were shouting. What Richard was this? What's he doing in training ground? He's probably trying to teach 2 young lads how to defend. That's not going to come overnight. These are the 2 raw young lads. They need to learn. It's going to take him years to. Even when he was playing at like 30, I know he's 40 now, 37, 38, he'll probably still learning the game. These are 20 years his junior when he was at his peak almost. But it's just bonkers that, do you know what? It's one of them things, isn't it? People, if you like Paul Warren, you instantly like Matty Amshaw, you instantly like Rich Wood, you're instantly a twat. Simple as that.
I don't think they get the irony, a lot of them as well. It's like we're Warren lovers, but they're like so obsessed with Evans that they can't see any positives in in what's happening at the moment. I'm not. This is not me being a happy clapper and saying there's loads of positives with third bottom, but there are green shoots here and there. I just don't think they get the irony, and that's probably I'll probably get picked on Twitter now or X. Sorry,
you definitely will.
Yeah.
On the Woody thing, he's a first-time coach. So he's learning his trade. I wouldn't be surprised if Woody's doing any training ground training at the minute because he's still learning the trade. Yeah. So again, I don't know.
He's not actually a defensive coach. He's first team coach. So he's he's not going to do that. There were some other comments saying, "Oh, sack Armstrong, they'll just give Richard Wood job." Woody's nowhere near ready for that manager's job anyway. It's just stupid comments, little digs. People can't wait to just blame the old regime, and Woody's part of that old regime. So chuck him in mix. It's crackers.
Yeah, I agree. Phil said about how he didn't change things to help the 2 lads. Surely that's what management are there for. Absolutely. Yeah. If there's any criticism for the night, it's for the team, not for not setting up right defensively and the changes that came obviously too late. And then the second goal, Andrew, just after a throw-in which was given to Bradford, which was bafflingly given to Bradford, but we'll gloss over that because what's the point in shouting a referee who was just terrible all night. But I love Lenny, and he's been really, really good up until probably the Mansfield game, although he wasn't that bad in the Mansfield game. But especially on the edge of your box, especially when you're getting into the danger zone, just kick it out, but just get rid of the ball. Although having said that, it wasn't just his fault that the mess that happened after Lenny didn't. There's question marks on other people as well. This isn't all on Lenny, is it?
I agree. It was like a catalogue of issues. So you've got the throw-in that was 100% ours. I have no idea why he's given that the wrong way. No idea. But then it goes forward. Like you said, they've been doing it all game. Lenny's too slow to react. He's not done what he needed to do. And then, and you're almost, I'm not sort of dismissing the criticism of Lenny because he was at fault. But what's Rafferty doing? He's a professional for a number of years. That I feel like that needs to be a much stronger challenge. Yeah. And Conte might be thinking where it is. He might be worried about it giving a penalty away or whatever. But he should be a lot stronger in that. And that was flimsy, massively flimsy. And then I'm not going to criticise Dawson particularly, but he probably could have made himself a little bit bigger. It just felt like a number of mistakes which led to the goal. And just one of them things. But it just frustrating because it should have been our throw, and then we made mistakes. It just felt like a number of things that went wrong in that 35 seconds or whatever it was.
Yeah, and it kind of sums up the season, Kev, that every time we score, it feels like we've got to earn it. It feels like we've got to do something special, or somebody's got to do a really good bit of play, or whatever else. But then when the other team score, and it might just be the Rotherham United head we've got on, we may be wrong, but it feels like we're just gifting the opposition everything. You do the hard work, and then. Oh well, they've got 2 because we can't do it properly. It's a theme, and it's something Mamshaw's got to get his head around because it's going to cost us a lot. It's already costing us points. Yeah, no, it is definitely. I mean, about the referee decision, I watched it back afterwards. I mean, everyone saw it straight away that it was clearly our ball, and you could see by the reaction of the players. And as soon as that reaction happened, I said to Ash at side, I went, "They'll score here." I think everyone thought they'll score here, and sure enough, they did it, but. Going back to about our defenders, someone put in comments about the old man. They really did. They've done their own work. Bradford, their lad up front, can't remember which one it were, the smaller kid. They were rapid, absolutely rapid. He caused no end of problems. They played to our disadvantage, which is fair play to them for one. But
Yeah, Ami's got to learn. He's got to learn quick, I suppose, or something like that. He's got to deal with things a bit better. But again, it comes down to the squad. We've not got the squad to make them change and make things a bit stronger. But we will have, which is why I've seen some of them comments. What I do like about tonight and about Twitter recently as well is people seem to be a bit more behind Ami. They are seeing. We've been talking about. We've been criticising this show for a few weeks now about improvements. I am generally seeing some improvements. I think I saw some comments on Twitter from opposition fans, Donny fans, saying, "God, if we could attack like Rotherham attack, we'd be top of the league." And it's right. We looked really, really dangerous. And when we get our full squad back, I'm telling you now, there's no way we're going down. We'll be closer to top half till and we'll bottom. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah, I agree. And it's a lot to pump on two players, Andrew, although we are only a couple of months away from the transfer window opening. But if Nombe plays, we probably get a third goal at 2-1. There's a couple of chances at 2-1 where I think Nombe scores one of those chances. And I also think if Tom Holmes there, we certainly don't concede. We might concede one of them. We don't concede 2 goals like that when Tom Holmes is playing. So it's so frustrating. But there are shoots, there are positives, there are improvements that we've just got to cling on to for the time being.
And it's amazing the impact. Holmes played 90 minutes for us, and he's like our saviour, isn't it? But it was one of the best sort of defensive performances by an individual in a long time, and he was clearing stuff up, but he was just constantly chirping, talking, and keeping him in line, and that's exactly what young defenders need. So if it had been Holmes and Baptiste or Holmes and Lenny, you're right, it would have felt a little bit stronger. And then in my head, I'm pinning a lot on Nombe's return. Like, even just thinking then when you were talking about Atete earlier on, I'm thinking, the way he holds it up, he could do a great job with linking up with Nombe. And then it's the same with Sheriff as well, winning headers and Nombe running on. So I'm pinning a lot of hope on Nombe being sort of like coming back as Nombe's been great for us, but we seem to make players better when they don't play as well, don't we? We seem to. I've even had people say Jack Holmes could do a job, and it's like he hasn't really yet, has he? So when team players don't play, they seem to get significantly better in everybody's eyes.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely. Let's go through some of the comments. It says on Lenny, he's nowhere near first team football level at this level. He is League 2 conference level at best. Harsh but true. One of the reasons we are in a relegation battle. Paul Rhodes adds, I still think we're missing a leader on the pitch. Felt for Lenny Baptiste. They're still babies, and I've got shoot older than them. I think I'm certainly more of the second one of that, Kev. Lenny's a brilliant player, but he's making mistakes. But before the injury, he barely put a foot wrong. I think he's just missing. We need Zach Jules to step up. Let's not mess around. We definitely need Zach Jules to step up when he's on the pitch, because he's been poor when he has been on the pitch. But they just need a bit of help, and I definitely think Baptiste we've only seen 2 or 3 times. Yeah, Lenny's definitely good enough.
I think Baptiste is, mate. I said a few weeks back, I really like the look of Baptiste. And they're absolutely right. They're missing somebody at side of them or a middle at pairing them who can lead them both, who can talk to them all during the game and tell them where to go. And, someone like Richard Wood. I mean, if 3 years ago, I'd love to see them to the side of Richard Wood, because he would have nurtured them and brought them through. I'm sure he would have. Different doing it off the pitch, because he's not in control of them off the pitch, but it's totally different. But I really like him. And this is where I don't get with some of our fans half at time. These are young lads learning the trade. I don't think it's anything about. I don't think it's out to levels. I think he's a good League One player. He just needs more experience playing at that level. He's good enough to play at level. He's just not got enough game time playing at level, which he needs before he's hounded out, before he's the next boo boy and hound out the club. Because people need to, let's be right. Between now and the end of the season, he will make another mistake or two, but he'll do a hell of a lot better things than he will mistakes. And we just need to get behind him, and like we do most other lads, we just need to get behind Lenny and Baptiste, the young lads. Give them the spot. They're going to make mistakes. Don't get on the back. Don't start booing them. Don't start grumbling. Get on with it. I'm sure they came off that pitch every day in bits, devastated, because they knew the cost us the game.
Exactly. You could see as soon as the goal went in, it was devastating. That's something we've been asking for, not for these mistakes, but just for somebody who gives a damn. How many players have we had the last 2 or 3 years who just could not care less? These players actually do give a damn, which is a massive step forward. And Harry and Nick say he's clearly good enough, otherwise he wouldn't have got the international call-up. It's his first call up for the Scottish under-21s, which is a great moment for him. It's a shame he's not playing for us next week to get that error out of his system a little bit. Although I might be wrong, it might be good for him to get away for 10 days, and hopefully
good players make mistakes. Do you know what? Remember Harry? I always come back to this, Harry Maguire, Sheffield United Rotherham at New York Stadium, when Daniel Nardiello ripped him a new one. The guy's talking about when a Saudi earning £500 million or whatever he's going to earn. You know what? Good players make mistakes. And now I'm not comparing Lenny to Harry Maguire, but what I'm saying is people make mistakes. Virgil van Dijk's best defender that's ever been, according to Liverpool fans. He makes mistakes. It happens.
Yeah,
it's a weird position as well, Nick. It's like as a centre back, a 19-year-old striker is different to a 19-year-old centre back. It's a completely different game. It's like they're almost controlling the game, and at 19, it's a hard thing to do. It's very hard for him.
And you compare him to Semi Ajayi. How many mistakes did Semi make when he first came? It's probably one of the best technical defenders we've seen at Rotherham United. We've got to relax a little bit. Back on the game a little bit. DLGS says worst thing is for 10 minutes before the second goal, we were on the front foot. And there's two sides to that, Andrew. That's really frustrating that we're miles on top. But there is a positive. You can spin a positive on that. Is that when they got their goal, their first goal, we didn't just collapse. No. We didn't just. It wasn't a one-way traffic with Bradford, and it was going to happen. The Bradford goal. We stepped back up, and I'll come on to Joe Powell in a minute. But we stepped back up, put the pressure back on them, and we were lucky not to go 3-1 up in the game. And that's the positive spin I'm trying to put on it.
And you know what? And thinking back even at the Mansfield game, like even though just before they scored, we were on top in the Mansfield game, and again we conceded a goal to come back 1-0 up, goes to 1-1, and we've collapsed so many times in that spell. We could have scored. Baptiste could have scored, and it'd been 2-1, and then we're in a better position. So there's 2 games where we've conceded and we haven't fallen on his arses straight away. So again, green shoots, and we are at this point where we are third bottom, so we're looking at the sort of minutiae, aren't we, where there's a bit of positive. But it feels, I know a lot of people, I say a lot of people, I think it's such a minority, but quite a vocal minority that seemed quite negative, because even in ground, it was very positive. I'm sure clapped the fans, and fans were clapping back. Although somebody was telling me on Twitter on Thursday that I'm sure walked straight down the tunnel, even so obviously didn't watch that, and his dodgy box must have gone off or something. But it was a positive atmosphere in the ground, weren't it? People were clapping, and I just think people are seeing positives here and there, even if they are just for 10 minutes in a match. There's just something. There's something there. Yeah.
Well, I've said for the last few weeks, and we'll keep saying the real test of pressure on Hampshire and everything else is the ground, not Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else. And I completely agree. The atmosphere wasn't electric, but it was definitely a positive atmosphere in the ground after Gaia. I completely agree. Sean says, do we think the formation worked Thursday as we played better? Do you think the changes? The only real change really was to put Martha and Benson behind the striker, Kev. Or do you think that was because of the change in the style, or do you think it was because it's a Tete and not Hugo, and you've got a mobile striker and Sheriff as well? Do you think it's more personnel rather than formation?
Yeah, definitely latter, mate. For me, it is. I'm not, I'm not going to slag Jordan Hugo off, but we looked a different outfit. We looked a bit more threatening, a bit more dangerous. Hugo's good at what he does. I mean, I said last week against Mansfield, I don't think he had a terrible game. I think he took his penalty brilliantly, but Tete, I think that's exactly why I played a formation. They knew that they got that mobility up front with Tete, and it allowed him to play try a bit something different. Sadly, Benson went off injured, which changed it again.
Yeah, absolutely did. We'll see what comes up next week against Northampton. I want to touch on Joe Powell. There's a couple of players I want to mention, Andrew, but I think Joe Powell's worth a mention because he's coming for a lot of criticism this season, and this is justified because Joe Powell's had a bit of a stinking season so far. But he seemed to thrive in the changes that Hampshire made. Certainly in the second half, after their goal, he really stepped up, I thought, and took control of that midfield. And that was much more like the Joe Powell I want to see. His set pieces were a slight improvement as well, to be fair. I thought they were better as well. But that was hopefully a first step. It wasn't sensational, but it was much better than what he has been.
Yeah, I said that to my young man at the game. I thought he wasn't outstanding, but he was a lot better, and he was doing some of the things that we expect from him. There was an occasion in the first half, you know, we talk about leaders and stuff, and he were talking, and you could see him revving everybody up. And I think that was in the first half, might be the second half actually. But he were trying to get into their ears and trying to sort of give everybody a bit of a G up. And I do think I still saw people slagging him off, and I'm not quite sure why, because I think that's probably his best game he's had this season. I guess my only worry is just the midfield in general. And it almost worries me not equivalent to the defence, because I think, well, probably more than defence, because we haven't got a bastard, sorry for swearing, but we haven't got that type of player, have we? Do you know, somebody like a Will Volks, and somebody who can get stuck in and stop things from happening, where we can break up attacks. We do a lot of, and when Bradford had the ball a lot, we were chasing shadows a lot of the time, and it was the same against Mansfield. We haven't got really anybody who can get stuck in and put a challenge in. I know that's kind of diverting from the question we're talking about power, but just in general, that midfield unit just worries me. We're a little bit. We just need somebody with a bit of something about him, I think.
Dan Gore's a bit of a bastard. I'm going to give him that.
He is.
Got a bit of bastard in him.
Yes.
Is it a bastard in wrong place, though? I like my bastard to sit in front of back four. Do you know what I mean? And he's a creative bastard. Yeah. Sorry, his square count's going massively up in it today. Sorry.
There's an E going on this one. Yeah, but the problem with third was Dan Gore he wasn't bad, but he was just quiet, wasn't he? He just didn't have that impact as I expected. But then what I did like was other people took the mantle and ran with it. Whereas in the past, if Dan Gore's been rubbish, we've been rubbish. Harry's saying, could Yearwood be that guy? I think he could.
What's happened to him? Is he injured? Is he just out of favour? I don't know. I like him. I liked him from the pre-season tour in Albufeira. I thought he looked a bit of a, I'll say it again, last time bastard. I think you liked him.
Yeah, I think he just don't fancy him, and I don't know why. It's weird. It seems to when Kelly's on bench, you'll have Kelly on over Yearwood, which I don't really get.
It's that thing though, isn't it? He sees him in training, doesn't he? And you know, we have this view, and I think he played against Barnsley, didn't he? And I think that was last time I saw him, and he were pretty good against Barnsley. He was getting stuck in that first half, but he does see him in training, and if he's not putting effort in, and you don't know, and we're making sort of assumptions there, but if he's not putting effort in, he's not going to get a game, is he?
No, exactly. No, absolutely not. Interesting, by the way, on midfield that McWilliams came on over Spence. I thought Spence would be the one to come on. I'm nothing against McWilliams. I like McWilliams. But I thought Spence would be Matt Amshore's kind of go-to legs in midfield. So I'm interested to see how that runs out throughout the season. Because I didn't think, to start with, Amshore didn't want McWilliams by the sounds of it. He was trying to offload him, weren't he, in August?
Yeah, wow.
And he's shown his way into being a good player. I do like McWilliams. Let's pick another positive player, Kev, and that's Denzel Hall, who is just my favourite player at the minute. He's just a fantastic player. He linked up brilliantly with Martha, and this was part of Martha, but that especially in the second half, Denzel Hall and Martha were just a match made in heaven. Yeah, and that's something I want to see more of. Denzel Hall needs help. He's a fantastic player. Yeah, but if he's going to play right wing back, he needs Martha to help. He needs centre back to help, midfield to help. And that was the first game where he got involved with everybody else, I thought, on Thursday.
He did. I think I've said it from. I sound like I'm talking over about football, but I said from week one, Denzel Hall. I'm sure put him down as my star man or star player. He just is our player. He just seems to fit. You can tell he's proud to wear that shirt, and he gives everything. He leaves everything on pitch. My concern is he's gone in. It almost seems like it's an injury waiting to happen. Yeah. I thought he pulled up a couple of times on Thursday night. It looked like he were struggling, gone a bit tight, and that's my concern. We need to play him. If we overplay him, he's probably going to pull something and be out for 4 weeks. But he just brings us so much difference, so much attacking force, and he loves running. I love players like him who just love running at defenders. It's just great to watch.
Yeah, he's got the bit of when Chio played right wing back, Andrew. He's got a little bit of that. His end product's maybe a bit like Chio. The end product of his nose across is not quite there. But he gains you those yards. He gains you that possession. He puts you up the pitch and everything else. He is a fantastic player, and he's only going to improve as well.
Yeah, definitely. He's still a youngish lad, isn't he? I don't know how old he is, but he's a youngish
24.
lad. 24, so he's still yet to hit his prime, and he has. You feel again like he's playing wing back, but when he played in that part of that front three against Exeter, he were excellent, and you'd like to see him in that spot. I was hoping that it wasn't an injury and he was just getting cramp, because he definitely put my. And I was kind of thinking maybe that's cramp, and maybe that was just me sort of hopefully rose-tinted specs thinking that it was cramp and it weren't another hamstring injury. But he offers something. He's a blood and thunder right wing back that's got a bit of pace, that's got a bit of skill, and like you say, he's starting to see that link up with Martha as well.
He's not scared of a tackle. Well, Martha might be, but Denzel's not scared of a tackle, and I love that.
It's amazing what a good. Do you know what a good tackle does at New York Stadium when somebody puts that full-blooded tackle? It's almost like a goal sometimes. It just changes atmosphere. And we're simple folk down at New York. We just love a good tackle, and we'll get excited about it.
Exactly. You know, Alex McDonald last year, I don't know about Bolton or Charlton, Alex McDonald just went flying through somebody. And then Joe Rafferty followed up with a massive tackle. And the entire atmosphere changed.
Yes, massive. That's crazy.
Yeah. Harry said, Paul Davis said a while ago, one of the Hampshire signings already had interest. He thinks it has to be Hall. Already going to miss him when he leaves. Whether it's January or summer. I don't think Denzel Hall will be here for very long.
It could Martha that as well. I think Martha's certainly is raw, but I think someone could pick him up very early, very cheap, and make him into an outstanding player.
Yeah. I won't be surprised. As long as we get a bit of money for it, we can reinvest. Got to reinvest, haven't you?
Like that's going to happen.
Fair point. Yeah, fair point. They're really, really good performances. Is there any other players you want to mention from the game? There was
Reece James.
Yeah.
I've criticised him, and I criticised him the last time I was on the pod. He was miles better. Right, it might defensively because of the position he was playing. He might have got caught out a few times. But going forward, it were for a lad who's getting on in his career. He can still bust that run down left hand side, and that ball for Sharif for the goal were quality. Had to be in that position, and that's kind of like the Reece James. You kind of remember from like he did a fair bit of it last season, and when he were down road, he did a fair bit of it getting forward and putting balls in. I think he's probably one of his better games of this season.
I don't think anyone had a bad game Thursday night. I can't pick out one player. Which we've lost. Well, we've drawn 2-2. Feels like a bit of a loss. We've let a 2-goal lead slip, but I can't think of any player who didn't have a bad game. It's bizarre.
Yeah, other than Lenny and Baptiste, the moments. But yeah, it was just lots of positive take from him. We're not used to that. Some negatives, which we are used to. But yeah, let's just have a quick glance towards Tuesday. The only team news we definitely have is Ted Can won't be playing because he's got concussion, which is why he wasn't on the bench for Thursday. I don't know how long the concussion protocol lasts for, so I don't know if he'll be back on Saturday for Northampton on the bench, but it doesn't really matter. He's not going to play anyway, is it, in terms of the league game? The Northampton game is on, Andrew. Does that change anything in terms of who you would have played anyway? If there was no game on Saturday, would you have gone stronger to kind of build those relationships, or would you have just gone wholesale changes anyway?
I think he'll probably make the allowed changes. You can't make that many, can you now? Because you've got to.
I think it was 4 stay in.
Yeah.
Other than having to change it.
So I could see. Yeah, I could see people like Yearwood coming into the lineup. I can see people like maybe Jack Holmes getting a game. I don't think we can make a huge amount of changes based on the fact that we don't have a huge squad and a few of them are still injured. But yeah, Spence might make a start, McWilliams might make a start. But it's a game. I said the other day, I'm not bothered about it, but also it'd be good to get a win just to build that confidence. Yeah. Because even though it is, Oxford, I think they got beat at weekend. Notts County doing 3-1, I think it were. So just getting a win, regardless of whoever it is against, it just builds that bit of confidence going into Northampton, which again, I know we're terrible away from home, is a winnable game or should be a winnable game.
Yeah, it should be. I think we're going to have to play the defence as it is. Okay, no Lenny, so I'd be amazed if you don't see Baptiste, Jules, and probably Rafi. But again, that's a positive because they've got to play Tuesday, and then they've got to play Saturday. So hopefully we'll see a bit of relationship built up over these next few days, and we can use Tuesday as a positive, even though it's not that important.
No, and that's what we need. I think that's definitely what we need to get us through to the January transfer window and bring in an old Ed at the back as well. I think to do that, but. Regarding Tuesday, I think it's good to see. I think you're right. It will be them three starting. It has to be. I can't see another change you could possibly make. And we know that given time, they will gel a bit more. They will learn each other's game a bit more. So another 180 minutes football, doing well to go playing together as well.
Yeah, definitely. Harry says maybe even Harris Duncan. I think he was on the bench for the Bolton Virtue Trophy game, so I won't be surprised to see that. Sean says Can is now injured, so who's our third choice? I don't think we've got a third choice. I just think if Dawson does get injured, we'll get an emergency loan because you're allowed to get one until Can comes back. So I don't think that's a massive issue. Yeah. Tom Swift says McGuckin's been loaned out to Eastleigh.
I don't get this. I don't get it.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's weird. I don't get it. Don't get it at all. We brought him back from Yeovil, were it? Or we were on loan? Yeovil. Gave him a new deal. Not really giving him a chance. And don't get me wrong, the games he's come on, he's not really done anything. He's not doing anything to warrant that. But he's another young lad who's been given a chance. I just don't see any point at all sending him out to a conference team. I don't get it.
No.
Are you telling me he's going to get an easier time playing in the National League than he is playing as cameo in League One? He's going to get roughed up. And is the logic that he'll come back a stronger player? I don't think so.
No.
Is it his request? I wonder if it's his request just because if everybody's fit, he's way down the pecking order. He's sixth. We've got 6 strikers if you include him. He's way down the pecking order. And at the moment, and then we've got Hugo, Atete, and Sheriff fit. So he's 4th in that list. Maybe he said, I want to go out on loan. And I don't know why we offered him a contract in the first place. I just think let the guy just go out on a free and find his career elsewhere. But it's an unusual. If it's a management decision, it's an unusual decision.
Yeah, I just think he's been treated really badly by the club. I know he's our player and you can treat him how you want, but I thought under Matt Taylor, I thought he was treated really badly. It was because we had no strikers. He couldn't let him out on loan when he was 19. I think should have gone out on loan. We all heard the stories under Steve Evans, and Matt, I'm sure, again, signs him. So you assume he's going to talk about playing, and then he's just found him out on loan. Well, not even at start of the season. It's not like a season long start. He's waited 3 months, and he's found him out on loan. I don't like how we've treated him, to be honest with you. But
it's certainly not going to help him, is it? It's not going to help him. This.
No, I agree. I think he can play Tuesday. Chris says I think he can play Tuesday. I'm pretty sure unless Eastleigh have got a game, he probably would be able to play Tuesday.
What's point?
But I wouldn't. I'd just play Sheriff. Sheriff and Atete. I wouldn't really worry about him. Phil, him and JJ were strange signs. At least JJ's to a degree at a level. He's got physicality and everything else. We're looking. He needs to go play. He needs to go play for games of football. So for him, I think it's a good move just to play games. But we'll see what happens. Is there anything else you want to mention on Rotherham United?
No, not at all. I'm not interested in Tuesday night whatsoever.
Unless we win.
When we get semi-finals, mate, I'll be all that. Until then.
Exactly. Couple of bits. First of all, we like to shout about things from Rotherham. We're from Rotherham. We like to promote things from Rotherham. I want to give Ben, who was normally on our podcast, Ben, as people know, he's going to play in Mexico in the college system, scored his first touchdown and made a big thing on their Facebook. So well done to Ben for playing really well, actually. So congratulations to Ben on that one. In terms of this channel, we are slowly creeping up to 2,000. We're less than 90 subscribers away from 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I'm going to keep pushing that until you get 2,000. So if you just all subscribe, I'll stop talking about it. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will be back in a few days' time on Thursday to talk about the Oldham game and look at Northampton. If you listen to iTunes, Spotify, make sure you've subscribed and followed there. Kev, third shot. Who won the shirt? Oliver Darnell?
Oliver Darnell posted out. He should receive it tomorrow. I've got to post it on Friday, so he should receive it tomorrow. Yeah, well done, lad. I mean, Hall, well done.
Hello. Yeah.
Just for I had a few people ask me, is it the third shot? It's a third shot on target. It's pretty hard to. That's the only way I can gauge it. Me and Matt talked during game. Is that third? Is that first? Second? That's third.
Exactly. Denzel Hall the first and the third shot. So it turns out it wasn't a bad shout. I would have never picked it, but well done, great shout. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Matt Miller. Is Mick busy pushing Rotherham United during his holiday around Mexico? I should think so. I know Ben's got the lyrics to Drop Me From Rotherham on his arm. So Ben's definitely spreading the town of Rotherham around the world, which we approve of. Right, thank you all for watching tonight. I've enjoyed tonight. It's been positives, which we don't often get to see. So I really enjoyed that. So thank you everybody for being in the comments. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Kev. Like I said, we're back Thursday. The scout report might be out before then if we can get Northampton, which we probably will because they've got some good guys over there. But yeah, thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next time. And as always, up the Millers.
Up the Millers.
Here comes for more. 2 for Jensen, 2 for Rotherham. Shoots. Ravel. Vicious. But brilliant. The sweetest feeling for Rotherham United. Wood's got round the back. And Richard Wood has done it again. It's done. It's Georgie Kelly.
Do me a favor, drop me off in